So screen share is active, and I'm going to be talking to you guys about unlocking a healthier, happier life, fitness for seniors here. So I have a lot to get through, so let's talk about it. We're going to talk about some common problems seniors face due to lack of physical activity, some benefits of senior fitness, how I help seniors, and some common obstacles and some tips on how to get started. So common problems seniors face due to lack of physical activity, right, are increased risk of chronic disease, reduced mobility and independence, social isolation, and costs associated with aging. So the leading causes of death in older adults are continuing to rise as the years go on. So we have heart disease, cancer, stroke, and lung diseases. And it's not just aging, but it's aging and inactivity. So as you see on the left here, as we age and decrease our movement frequency, we have up to a 27% increased risk of cardiovascular disease, versus if we start to move more as we age, up to 11% reduced risk of cardiovascular disease. Now that's a 38% swing, pretty big numbers there. And as we get over age 70, it's shown that the reduced mobility and loss of independence become a big factor, and mobility limitations being a big cause for concern, because a decreased quality of mobility comes with a decreased quality of life, increased fall risk, and even hospitalizations and mortality. So another aspect to look at is loneliness, social isolation. So with that comes an increased risk of dementia and a whole bunch of other things that we want to stay away from, like higher rates of depression, anxiety, and even suicide. So let's look at the financial costs of aging. Fall-related costs alone, $647.5 million in 2015. And we'll zoom in a little bit on that. These are some numbers for 1 year's costs per person per year when you add together treatment and lost wages. And an interesting one I thought was here, depression, which we don't really quantify that too often. So, but not only financially are we losing as we age, but the time lost spent dealing with healthcare issues is about 1 day out of your week just gone. So our lifespan is increasing, but not necessarily our health span. And that's due to chronic disease, lack of mobility, right, loneliness, and we're not only losing financially, but also time. But the good news is that structured exercise for seniors can definitely help with all this. So let's look at a case study from the North Shore Senior Center, the exercise program that they initiated there in Seattle. So the program took two groups. One group didn't do any exercise. The other group participated in 1-hour classes 3 times a week for 6 months. And it included balance, strength, aerobic, and flexibility training. So the key findings of that study were up to 30% improvement in health scores, right? Fewer hospitalizations and thousands of dollars in healthcare savings. And what are those health scores? Well, they're measures in physical, emotional functioning, social functioning, bodily pain, mental health, energy, and just general health perceptions. If you see on the left side here are the control group who didn't participate in exercise compared to those who did. And again, quite wild numbers in the swing there. So what this tells us is that physical inactivity leads to a poor quality of life, leaving healthy years on the table. And seniors need appropriate solutions, and I highlight appropriate, so that they can live longer and better. So let's look at some inappropriate solutions. Bad diets. Now these are all over marketing, and we see them everywhere. And the reason we don't want to necessarily do these is because you risk malnutrition. Now, I always preach the basics of eating healthy, but if you're interested in something like one of these diets, I would highly recommend you see a nutritionist, like the fine people at Cambiati, so that they can help you intelligently program your nutritional needs. Some exercise fads that are all over marketing is, the vibrating belt up here, Tybo, which, can work, but it's not for everybody. It's not appropriate for everybody. The shake weight, I'm not even gonna go there. So these either don't work or they risk injury. And the aging adult body has different needs, and therefore needs a different approach. So let's talk about how my approach is different. So first of all, I use a 5-step method. I tailor my exercises for varying abilities, focus on not just the physical, but mental and social well-being, build sustainable programs so that you actually follow through on them. And then I have first-class service. So once you're a client, I'm with you every step of the way. And here's a little look at my 5-step method. First, we're going to define your goals and develop SMART goals. We're going to have an evaluation, nutrition. We're going to go over your fitness levels. And then also, if I need to talk to your doctors, I'll do that as well. So only after step 1 and step 2 do I start designing your program. Nothing's cookie cutter here. It's all custom. Once I get the program done, I'm going to help you implement it. I'm going to teach you the form, the technique, set up a schedule for you, and also build in check-ins so we can have some accountability there. Then you always want to monitor your progress once you have a program going, because you want to make any adjustments that are needed, see what's working, see what's not. So some common obstacles that people face are, I'm too old to start exercising, right? I hear that a lot. Well, the case study we covered earlier kind of helps address that issue. So I might get injured, very valid. You can do a lot of research. The internet's a powerful tool. You can find all the information you need, but trusting the right sources is tough. And also the time investment. Same thing with I don't know what to do. You don't want to waste your time on inefficient or inappropriate exercises. So that's where a fitness professional can come in. So I want to give you some tips on how to get started. And this applies to everyone, not just seniors. So you want to pick 3 types of activity. 1, moderate intensity aerobic activity. That's just walking faster than you normally do. Anything that gets your heart rate up a little bit beyond what is normal. Some muscle strengthening activity. You want to hit every major muscle group at least twice a week. That's where I can come in and make a plan for you. And then a mix of activities that improve your balance, right? And that you want to be careful on. Sedentary senior, I wouldn't suggest doing tennis. There's a lot of lateral movements and backpedaling and twisting. So you really want to work up and be smart about your balance programming. So for any leads or referrals, you can have them contact me for a free phone consultation. They can try out a free session with no obligation. And if we have a good fit, commit to a custom program. I would just want to sum up real quick that it's not too late to start. Just 2% of someone's week spent doing physical activity can yield substantial benefits. So thank you. I'm Coach Drew, personal training in Concord.